Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Jung. I'm the Executive Chef of Retail Dining at the University of Massachusetts, and today I'm going to show you how to make our lemongrass curry noodle bowl. Alright, so let's start with the ingredients for our broth. And for every great soup, you have to start with a great broth. So I have a whole chicken here. It's about 3 pounds, free range. I've got a medium-sized onion, some garlic, some ginger, some scallions, and some chicken broth that I actually purchased at the store. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on a little bit of prep work here, and then we're gonna add it to our pot there, and then we're gonna get it on the stove. So let's start cutting away here, and let's start with the scallions first. I'm just gonna trim off the ends and put them right in the pot, okay? And then the next one, let's start with some ginger, and I'm only gonna use about half of the ginger here. And I'm gonna reserve the other half of these ingredients to fortify the coconut milk that really adds the rich flavor to this soup, okay? And we're gonna start on our onion here. Just take the tops and bottoms off, okay? We're gonna cut that into half. And one more time. Just gonna take off the peel. Here, right into the pot. Do it again with the second half, right into the pot, okay? And then let's grab some garlic. And let's grab 3 cloves. Just hit it with the back of the knife. Come right, the skin will come right off. Okay, again, right into the pot. One more time here. You can see how easily the skin comes off. All right, and for the last one. So you can see it's already looking flavorful, and we're gonna add chicken stock. Perfect. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this on, and what I'm gonna do is bring it up to kind of just past medium here. I'm gonna turn on all 3 zones here, okay? And what I wanna do is bring it up to a simmer, and then I wanna lower it because I definitely don't want this to boil. So I just want that chicken to kind of soft poach. And let me grab the top over here. And I'm just gonna leave it off center so some of that steam can evaporate. All right, so we have our leftover ingredients from our stock. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fortify our coconut milk. So we're gonna start a sweat. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work here, a couple more knife things. Again, precision isn't the most important thing because we're gonna strain this out afterwards, but mainly it's just to make it small enough so the sweat can occur and the aromatics that we have here can release our flavor. So let's start with the garlic. Again, I'm gonna hit it with the back of the knife. You can see how it kind of already did the work for me. It's already kind of halfway crushed. All right, so I'm gonna put that right in my pot here. Then what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of canola oil, and we'll start that sweat. So then let's start on our onion. And if you've watched these other videos, you'll notice that a lot of times soups and sauces start with onion and garlic or ginger, and that's because these ingredients really perfume those soups or sauces or stews. All right, so then let's just cut these scallions a little bit. I'm gonna save the green for the garnish. When the soup is all set, get these guys right in here. And I'm not gonna need the whole piece of ginger, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut about half, and I'll save that half. And just kind of take the skin off. I'm just gonna give a couple slices this way. All right, I'm gonna put this in the pot. All right, so let's bring our pot to the stove over here. Right, and then let's go over some of the other ingredients that we have. So we have our fish sauce here. We have some local heavy cream. We have some frozen chopped lemongrass. We have some coconut milk, unsweetened, which is really, really important. You don't want that sweetened stuff that they make pina coladas and things like that. There's just a lot of sugar and it's just not the right. So make sure it's unsweetened. We have some canola oil to help with the sweat. And then we have our Thai green curry paste, which we're also gonna add to the sweat. So let's take a look and see how our chicken is doing. It's looking pretty good. It's almost at a simmer there. So let's start our sweat here. And let's get this, let's get it to medium. And let's just bring over a little bit of salt here. Add a little bit of salt. And I've got my trusty wooden spoon. Every great kitchen should have an old wooden spoon. Okay, and let's grab some of this canola oil. Okay, let's grab our lemongrass. That in there. And let's grab our paste. Oh, there we go. Okay, you can see all this great flavor that we've got here. And what we want to do is we want to be able to coax that out. And this will take a minute or two. All right, so we've got our sweat just working away here. And I gotta tell you, it just smells so fragrant with the lemongrass and ginger and garlic. Okay, let's double check in on our chicken here. Okay, so it's come up to a simmer here, and what we want to do is we're going to want to lower it down so it can just slowly cook. And we're going to let it go for about an hour or so. And with it simmering away here, some of it's going to evaporate out. So if we need to add a little bit of water, we can do that as well. All right. And I'm just going to cook this for another minute or so. All right, so our sweat of aromatics is just about there. What actually happens is the onion starts to become translucent, and the garlic and ginger becomes very, very aromatic, which it has. And really, I wish you could smell this because it really does smell fantastic. So let's add our coconut milk here. Get that right in there. Make sure we get all of that. And add our heavy cream. And the best part right here is our fish sauce. Okay, we're gonna bring this up to a simmer. And then we'll let it go for, about 20 minutes or so on medium-low heat. It's very important not to break the emulsion that we have here. So it's important to keep it on low heat. If you bring it up to a boil, it can curdle, and that's just not the best texture that we're going to be looking for here. So let's lower this down to, we'll call it medium-low heat, and we'll bring it up to the simmer and we'll let it go for about 20 minutes or so. Let's go over the ingredients for the toppings here, and let's start with our rice noodles there. We've got some limes that we're gonna cut up, some Thai basil, some bird's eye chili. We've got some cilantro there, some scallions, some onions, jalapeno. We've got some baby bok choy. We've got an empty bowl here, and that's gonna be for the pulled chicken later on. And then we've got some bean sprouts and some tofu that needs to be diced up. So let me get to it. We've got the broth going over here, and we've got our fortified coconut coming up to the simmer. So while that's all going on, let's use this time to do a little bit more knife work. So let's just start with the tofu here. Pretty basic. All you have to do is just cut it in half, right down the middle there, and just gonna cut them into small dices. So a couple slices this way, we'll turn it around and just go the other way. One of the great things about tofu is it's so easy to cut. All right, let's slice up our scallions here. And what we're looking for is just a very, very nice thin slice. And so let's start on this onion here. And we're not gonna need the whole onion. And I'm just gonna take that skin off. And I'm just gonna very finely julienne this onion. And if you have a very sharp knife, like I do here, it should limit how pungent the onion is. And it really shouldn't burn your eyes too much. Generally, it's the knives that aren't sharp that actually tear through the flesh of the onion, that kind of really puts all that irritant into the air and then hits your eye. So the sharper your knife, the less you're likely to cry. All right, so let's take our jalapeno and we're just gonna give this a very thin slice as well. And again, you know, it's that thought process of nice and thin so it can steep in that broth. And we don't need the whole jalapeno for this recipe, so I'm gonna put the rest of it right there. Put these guys in here. Let's cut up our bok choy. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these into quarters. And then the other thing with these two items, along with the bean sprouts, is that we're gonna blanch them first because the mass is so big on these guys that they have to be cooked first and then added to the soup. And if you've ever been in the Blue Wall or any of the dining commons, you'll see them with the station set up with some hot water ready to go. Let's go ahead and cut our chilies. There you go. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna rip the basil. I've got one nice right there. And it should be very rustic. Okay. And the cilantro will leave whole. And I'm just gonna make some wedges here with the lime. Just lime wedges so we can add a squeeze of lime. And generally, what you wanna do is add this right at the very end, so you can really maintain that essence of that citrus. If you add it in too early, it will actually kind of cook out and you won't actually get that flavor at the end. All of the hard knife works is pretty much all set, ready to go, and we're just waiting for that broth to fortify, and I'll show you the next step. All right, so let's take a look at our chicken. Excellent. Okay, so it's been here in the broth for about an hour 15 minutes or so, and I'm gonna take the chicken out now. And this is one of the things you wanna be very careful about. And I'm just gonna set it on this plate here. Okay, and then our curry broth pretty much is all set as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna strain both of these broths and then combine it. All right, so I've got our curry broth right here, and we're gonna put it through this sieve here. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna take out all the little chunks and impurities. And what we wanted was, we wanted that flavor from the garlic, the ginger, the lemongrass. However, we don't want that texture. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna give this a little shake. There we are. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour our chicken broth through that sieve as well. I'm just gonna use my wooden spoon here just to move around. And one last time, we're gonna put this broth through one strainer. Just give it a little shake here. All right, so let's take our pot and Let's bring it back to the stove. We're going to return it to the heat. And medium heat should be about fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to reduce this down about a quarter or so to really concentrate those flavors. And then we'll season with a little bit of salt and maybe just a touch of sugar here to balance all the flavors. I'm gonna let the chicken cool down, and we've got our water going for blanching our vegetables. All right, so our broth is coming back to a simmer here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar, so about a tablespoon or so. Just a little bit of salt here. Give this a whisk around. And what I've made is actually a cornstarch slurry here. So equal parts cornstarch and equal parts water. And this is just gonna thicken our broth just slightly. So get everything all nice and incorporated. And that cornstarch is just to add just a little bit of body, not so much where you feel like it's a thick soup like a chowder, but just enough to bring everything together. All right, so we've got our chicken here that's cooled, and what I'm gonna do is just cut along the breast here, and I'm gonna cut off this breast here. All right, and I'm just going to pull this chicken apart to just these little strips. Just give this a little cut here. Yeah. All right, and that's our pulled chicken. All right, so let's finish our noodle bowl here. I've got the water up on high here, and you can see that's come up to a full boil here. Gonna add our noodles. For a bowl here, I'm going to grab a pair of tongs, and it really doesn't take long at all to cook these guys. And you can see I've got a strainer here, and pretty much it takes about 30 seconds to about 40 seconds or so. So okay, so I'm going to strain that, pop it right in our bowl here, and we're going to add some bean sprouts to our water here. And some of our Bok Choy. And it's really important to blanch these guys because there's a fair amount of bitterness that comes out of both of these guys here. So we just want to make sure it comes out. And I'm going to add salt to the water. All right. Let's turn off the heat now. That is, and turn that off there. Make sure we get all that water out, because otherwise it will dilute our soup here. All right, so then right into our bowl. You can see it's looking pretty good already. All right, so let's add our soup. And we want to make sure that we have plenty of broth here. All right, let's go to our garnish area. There we go. And let's add some of our chicken here, right to the top. I like a good amount of protein here. Let's add some of our tofu. All right, some of our onions. Let's add some of our scallions. Some of our chilies. Some of our basil, some jalapenos. Actually, I like a good amount. Just that little zap of sting kind of makes you sweat a little bit. And we'll put basil garnish right on top, and a couple squeezes of lime. Let's get one more. Really enjoy the acidity. That's a little bit of cilantro. All right, so that's our curry noodle bowl. That's world famous at UMassAmherst. And yeah, hopefully you found this video educational and that you'll try our noodle bowl at home. And if you enjoyed these recipes, just let us know. Post comments down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button on the bottom there. We'll see you next time.